So I know you enjoyed the opening of the door. You enjoyed the opening of the inner door, didn't you? Yeah. So we've seen that, haven't we? So today I'm going to give you a full tour of opening this door, which is a basic standard up and over door. So let's have a look at it first. We've got pins at the top, but I use them to keep the door from slamming shut. So we'll lift them, take them out. We'll take this bar out, which holds this on here. This is connected. It's an old tread off a lamppost. You've seen them on telegraph poles, haven't you? It's a tread going up a telegraph pole, and I've just welded a block. And this is just, you see these everywhere, these orange shelving units. And this one, these were some sort of gutter brackets, some sort of bracket off a big building, and you sat a gutter on here, and there was a half curve in here. So I turned them into squares, one turned this way. So I turned them into squares and then welded all the squares together and then backed it with a bar. So this was the first thing that I put behind my door. This is to hold the middle. This stops the door from coming up, so we're going to have to back these out, aren't we? Back these out of the way. I've got a little washer on the chain that just, again, homemade, not in a bolt. That goes in there. That goes in there. Again, put it on a chain. You won't lose it then, will you? Let's have a look at how they're made. They're just made up of nuts and bolts. How do you make a bolt easy to handle? If you're constantly putting a nut on, just weld the nut, cut across, hold on, make a cross on the end of the tube, and then crush it together and weld it around the nut. So now it's easy to put that on and off whenever you want. So that's the front of them. I won't be able to hold the camera and undo them, so I'm just showing them first. And then this back one is the same. This back one is the same. It's an upgraded nut. Hold on. Let's undo it. How do you make a little nut easier to handle? You put a bigger nut on the outside of it, and that goes that side of the nut, see? And then basically you need the long bit here so you can fit it. So when you fit it, you put it in here, slot it in there. That then goes through the plate in the back and screws the nut on. That creates a lock, doesn't it? Yeah. So I'll show you them in a minute when I've all done them. So this is connected to that, which is then spreads the load through the door. So if they try and peel the corner off, all four corners is protected. If they try and pop the runners off, there's protection behind where the runners run, so they can't put a screwdriver in and just pop them off the runner. Because all they'll do is they'll put a screwdriver in and push that out of the way, but the wall's in the way. Put this spacer here, and then to stop it coming up, this is connected here, and this is connected here. Also, this winds backwards, and again, simply made, look. That's your handle to wind it. There's a big nut. Drill a hole in the middle, stuff a bolt in there, grind the end of the bolt so it's nice and round, weld your nut in there, that way, and off you go. And again, keep it in place with a washer and a chain so that you know, you don't lose them. That's the thing with these fiddly sort of things. They're easy to lose, aren't they? And you know, occasionally you've got to keep them well oiled. And again, you know, can you see this? It's easier to weld a hole on than what it is to drill a hole. Yeah, right, so let's strip that out and see what you look. And of course, so it doesn't bow in the middle, it just helps it. It's just a piece of wood, spreads the weight, connected. Again, just a little bolt and a little tube, and on the end of the bolt, on the end of the little tube is a nut. So it makes it a, you know, you're not there fiddling with a little nut on the end, you actually turn the tube. Yeah. Again, with a welder and a bit of imagination, you can make whatever you want. So let's, now this is the big door outside, because remember we've got two doors on here, haven't we? So let's first of all wind that down out the way. And I'll take these off and lift this up, lift that up, and but we have to lift this off first to allow the door to open. We'll leave them in place for now, and we'll come from the other side because there's no lock on this. There's a clip, there's a slat, you know, but there's no actual lock in the middle. So these, I always just sit on there. Because how many times have you been playing outside your garage and you've shut, the door is shut? Now look, watch. When this, now, you can't shut yourself out the garage. How many of us have got an up and over type door and you've been in and out of it and you pull it down out the way and all of a sudden a gust of wind comes and slams it shut and you're locked outside the garage and there's no way of coming back in? Because the wife's gone off and the front door's shut, locked. I've done that a few times. So I always remember to stop the door from slamming shut on me. So as you can see, it's just a shelving bar. Luckily it fits nicely with the tread on the lamppost, on the wooden post, and then just a piece of bar welded up to hold it in. It slots in there. Easy peasy. Go around now and release the outside door. So here we are. This is the outside gate. These are the hinges. They're welded on, so you can't lift the hinge up. You can't lift the hinge here, and you can't knock it off the wall because there's a big bolt that goes through the wall, holds that on. The only other way of connecting it is it connects down here. This is the catch to just hold it whilst you're going around, but this is how it's connected. Look, so we take the catch off and then we withdraw, you know, the big bolt the other side. So look, we screwed the handle on in there and that goes through the door. Whoa. And again, look, it's just, whenever you make something, you couldn't just fix this from here to here with a shaft because they could get to it and cut it. So you protect it. If you've got a big angle piece, you get it some protection so you can't get to it to cut it. Yeah, you could cut it, but to get this out, you're going to have to cut here, 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 and here. Rather than, you know, if it wasn't protected, you'd just do one cut and you'd be through, wouldn't you? Or maybe two cuts, but when you protect it, it just increases it all the time. You're fighting time all the time. You want to slow them down and you want them to make a hell of a noise when they go and get in. And again, look, this door just is the door in front of the door. Yeah. I happen to have, I think I paid £1 a foot for it. I bought it, I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And you can't buy running water for £1 a foot, can you? So I ended up making a door with it. And I think, I've got a sneaky feeling this big angle came out of when this was a factory and they were knocking it down. and I was over the fence fetching lengths of angle iron. So we just did that, look, and we've got a little clip. Let's have a look. We've made a little retaining clip so that the wind doesn't rattle it and catches it. Look, it goes through a hole and it fits in there, look, and then that shuts down after, hides the hole a little bit, you know. And yeah, we've got it covered with cameras. We've even got it covered with a little sneaky camera that looks down on the side here. So let's open the door, shall we? See, it's not going to slam shut because I've got the little pins down, and that's all you need really. So we've got a sign, so they've got through that somehow. Now they've got a sign to deal with. And I'd like electrocuted, but isn't it? If you saw that sign, would you take a risk and touch it? So anyway, and we lift this out, look. This sits, I'll take it out and I'll show you. So the way I make it, hold on, you're upside down. So the way I make it fit, look, there's a hole here, and all that is a plug put in there. It sits on there, look. So we plug it in that end first, and then it comes and it sits on this little, put a plate on the wall to strengthen it, put a little corner so it sits on that, this edge here at the bottom, sits in the corner here, and then this just slides across, which then slots into there. Again, it's quicker to weld a hole on than what it is to drill a hole, or easier I should say. Lo and behold, the gate's open, and to shut it you just sort of reverse the process, don't you? And it goes through the wall, and this winds on the inside of it. I have thought of putting some sort of locking mechanism in that, for that. Maybe that might be the next project, making some sort of locking that in place maybe. We'll see.